They are watching a kid in a $2,000 boat trying to steal their money in a way. And that does things to them,
Well, this may be possibly the most eclectic show we have ever done in the history of this show. First, we are joined by internet sensation Buddy Jaron, Jiren Clinch, who basically hijacked the day 3 takeoff of the Bassmaster Classic. He fished it as Boat 26, gives us the behind the scenes on that, and well, a lot of other stuff. And as if that's not enough, then we are joined by former Bassmaster winner, former Classic qualifier, former Bachelor. That's right, the TV show The Bachelor. He was part of that. And at one time, he also lived in an Astro van. That is Byron Velvick with Byron's Bunker. Both of them join me this week. I'm
Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks, and of course you, my humpers. Happy hump day to all of you, and welcome into the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. This is the 262nd edition of the Mercer Podcast, and I hope wherever you're watching or listening from, that life is treating you well. I am home, well, just long enough literally to say hi to the family and make this podcast, and then I am right back to South Carolina. Just left Lake Murray, an incredible event. Two-time Elite Series champion Paul Marks got it done. He is the king of the herring bite. Last year took a herring bite win, and again this year, the Surge Squad clearly is a problem in all of those events, because if you look, they're always packed right in the top 10. 3 of the 4 were in the top 10, but Tucker Smith, that pesky Tucker Smith, I mean, if he could ever figure out how to get it together, I think he finished 21st, but had a wicked night on weekend on Fortnite, from what I hear. Big Fortniter. We'll get into that again in the future. But we will have Paul Marks and the Surge Squad on here at, some point here. Maybe I'll record it while I'm at Santee, because that's exactly what they're doing right now. They are pre-fishing for Santee, and that kicks off tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can see me at Santee. It's going to be a fun one. Santee Cooper Lakes always shows out in a big way, whether it's the crowds, whether it's on the water. I look forward to seeing you all there. Going to be a very, very fun tournament. And after that one, we'll do probably a mega show with the winner from Santee and the winner from Murray. And it'll be really, really fun. But this week's show, boy, this is a different one. Some of you are going to absolutely love this, and some of you are going to scratch your head. But this is a really, really fun show. We are joined by Jiren Clinch, who we had a little fun together at the Bassmaster Classic, and he tells the behind the scenes of that. Literally, with an aluminum boat with a 15 horsepower outboard, he was part of the Bassmaster Classic takeoff. The way it all came together, what it was. He shares his mind, which it's hard to believe we're talking to one person at some points of this conversation, but it is something. And then there's the scary parts where I'm like, am I looking in a mirror? Because it's weird that somebody has such a... I mean, when I talk to people, like right now, you think I'm focused on the words that I'm coming out of my mouth. My mind is a bajillion different places. I feel like Jaron is the same. It is wonderful. So I hope you enjoy this. He is an internet sensation, almost 500,000 followers on TikTok. I believe the same on Instagram. I mean, he's on YouTube. He's everywhere. Coming to a movie theater near you. Give it time. Give it time. But then after that conversation, we have more. I'm joined by Byron Velvick and Byron's Bunker, the monthly feature that we only have kind of once a year. But, when Byron has time, we roll him in, and he digs deep into stories about his legendary Astro van that well, is a fabled piece of bass fishing history. So this could be a fun one. And the weird thing is you've got Jiren, who is like killing it on the internet, right on the edge of content creation, doing stuff that people haven't seen. And then you have the baby bird that is Byron Velvick that is just rehatched, and he's like, feed me social media. He's like just realizing social media is a thing. So it's two total opposites, but they are also kind of very similar in a lot of ways. This is going to be a fun one. Let's dig right into it because I have to head back to the airport. I hope to see a bunch of you at Santee. If you're around Humpers, make sure to holler at me from the dock during the weigh-in, wherever. Just let me know you're a Humper. It's great to say hi to you. And I will see you there. But I'm heading back to the airport. And while I do that, let's jump into this conversation. And then that's going to be followed by Byron's Bunker. And then that'll be it. But thanks for watching once again. Without further ado, how about we hook up with Buddy Jaron? Buddy Jaron, we're actually doing this.
Dave, we're doing it, and I can't believe it too. I had such a rough morning, man, and this picked me up though.
What happened this morning?
Well, nothing crazy. I just was coming off a horrible day yesterday, so I woke up and I was just groggy. You know, those mornings where you wake up and your eyes are extra closed and you can't. It's like you're trying to hit the snooze, but you keep missing, so you keep knocking everything off the desk, and it was one of them. But then I remembered that I got to talk to you today and I got excited again. So hopped out of bed and put on a fresh pair of underwear and socks. And here I am.
Wow. That's better than most of our guests do. I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, dude, you actually have, it feels like, are you on a computer or a phone right now?
I'm on a computer right now.
Yeah. Well, which number one puts you in the top 80 percentile of our guests. You do not have your camera is not being held by a spool of line in a Plano box. So you're super freaking pro. I didn't expect this from you.
Well, I like to be organized, Dave. I like to have it kind of, not professional. I don't like the word professional, but I like the idea of being somewhat organized and having my thoughts in one place, even though that's hard. That's really hard for me to do. You know what I mean? But I'm working on it. Day by day, I'm improving, and I think I'll get there eventually. So,
is that your mind? Is that how you've been your whole life? If you I feel like inside your mind, I feel like when I spend any time with you, I feel like we're some way related. Number one, because both of our minds are we're never right in. What is your mind like?
It is like that. My mind is my favorite word is organized chaos, because I have a tendency to spaz out. I have tendencies, and I don't know what the ergonomical name would be for it, or what the word is for what that word even is, what that means. I don't know. But, I have tendencies to do things that maybe I shouldn't do, or maybe they're not the most, organized, and they make me look a little bit, crazy, and it comes out in, in odd times, so. But I would say I hate that it's so cliche, but I would say I'm severely ADHD. I've never been diagnosed with it. And I don't say
in the comments, let's see do you think he's ADHD? I think you're diagnosed, dude. Like we got better than doctors here.
So I'm already diagnosed.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Fine. Everyone's got something.
Well, I'm just saying that I think that's what it is. And I'll never get diagnosed though. I think it would ruin the fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm here for. I mean, who knows? It could be a week or 50 years. And it's like, I might as well just enjoy it while I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope it's a very, very long time, because I think the world is too serious, and you are not that at all.
Dave, but I am too. I promise you.
Well,
if we went to a cheeseburger place or something, like let's say we're in Dallas and we go to some nice barbecue place, you and I could lead an organized conversation professionally, and you would be like, wow, I didn't know you could do this, Jiren. And I'd be like, yeah, I can, this is a side of me, but
you're like an onion. You got layers.
there's many layers. And I think that's how you are too.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit. I mean, there's everything I do to make a living is literally what school told me. Like what they would write in my report card is literally the facets that allow me to stay employed. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, but I was never a bad boy either, you know? And
come on.
Well, sometimes I'm like, put it this way, Dave. I was never told like, you know, if you don't quit doing that, I'm going to spank you. You know, I was like, my teacher never wanted to spank me. So I figured that I kept it on course pretty much. And I was scholarly in a way that I pursued it and I did well with it. I was never a bad kid ever, you know? So I don't know what helps me succeed. I don't know what it is.
Do you feel like fishing is something you have to do?
As far as keeping myself sane, or
just like, I mean, for me, I don't think there's ever been an option. Like I've always been like, I know I have to fish. Like whether you can give me a normal job and I'm going to suck at it and I'm still going to go fishing. In your head, how does it, that's where you're at?
Yeah. And fishing is like, it built a side of me, you know, that's the part of it I mean, when I was like 7 years old, 8 years, like a lot of these guys talk about fishing since they were, you know, could walk. And I wasn't like that. I bet you I started fishing. My dad and I probably got into fishing when I was, I don't know, 12, maybe 10 or 12. And then we fished for a few years. Dad finally got like a decent fishing boat and we would fish a little bit. And then when I got my driver's license, I would say is when I really started to fish a lot. So I've almost kind of adapted into the fishing world more so. And that's the interesting part because fishing hasn't been in me since I was born. It's not one of them stories. It's kind of like I picked it up when I had the opportunity I got a kayak and I had a little Chevy Impala and I just ran around Wisconsin and I learned to love to fish, you know? So fishing, I mean, now, I have to fish. Absolutely. But it's never been one of them lifelong things quite for me, which is unique. You know?
So what'd you do before fishing? Like what consumed your time before fishing?
You know, I honestly, so we're talking like 12 and under. I have a very, is engineerical a word? I don't think that's a word.
No, probably not.
Probably not. No, definitely. But engineering was something that I loved. So when I was probably 6 to 12, I have a pretty analytical
brain. You had a
brain.
mind that was driven by engineering.
Engineering.
See how I wordsmith that?
Yeah, that was good. So you have a background in English and things.
Spoken word. No, just the spoken word. I do it a lot.
Yeah. You are a good talker, Dave. I give you a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You know, I think what it was is honestly, I grew up, you know, I always had those kits, like picture the kits that was like, they had the rubber pieces and the plastic pieces in the washers and you'd build like, excavator or whatever. Well, so what that turned into is I started to kind of grow into this mindset where I was building stuff out of cardboard, Dave. I'm talking robotic hands. I'm talking hydraulic arms. I'm talking bowling alleys. I was building things out of cardboard. I would get a pair of
quite a variant.
Believe it or not. So this pair of scissors right here, I just realized this metal pair of scissors was my best friend from the time I was 6 to 10, 12 years old. And I built a series of models with this metal scissors. And what this metal scissors would do as I would trim the cardboard away is it would leave calluses on my fingers because it hurt so bad. And so I started to grip them different. I would grip them like this. So I'd get it positioned in there and I'd grip it like this all the way down. And I started to use my palms and my forearms because my fingers were shot at the time I was 8 years old. And I had these projects that were drying fast because it was hot glue. So I was always, you know, creating something. And I would build these masterpieces out of cardboard and it would take me days. And I'm talking like I would use syringes. Oh, I got some in my throat, Dave.
You're good. Get it out. Get it out.
I would take syringes, because a syringe with water in it and a rubber tube connected in between is technically hydraulics. And so I would get this model in my head and I'd build models with this same model. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, sure.
So I would connect. If you take a kitchen syringe, right, and I'm trying to picture this for you, right, and you fill it up with water, and you put a tube, a rubber tube hose on the end of the syringe, and then you connect on the other end of that hose another syringe that's closed, and you push the water out of this one, and it goes through the tube into the other one. It opens up that one's arm on the other syringe, right?
I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So that creates a hydraulic lever. So I would connect that to cardboard pieces. And I built a functioning bowling alley. You'd roll the marble down and it would knock the pins down. I had an automatic pin resetter mold, and it would go into the chute in the back, roll down into an elevator shaft. And then my syringe hydraulics would lift up the elevator shaft into another chute and roll it back right down to your belly button. And then you'd go again.
Good times. Yeah.
So that's what I was doing before I was fishing, Dave.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. I don't know whether I'm talking to the most amazing mind in the world or
I don't know what it is.
Telepathic liar. One or the other.
No, I'm actually speaking.
You don't lie?
No, I don't lie.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I might exaggerate some things, but Dave,
are any of these crafts still remaining? Like,
yes, they're in my bedroom. I could probably run in the house.
I want one for the set.
I know. I could go. I should.
It would look so good back there. I will display it right by Ray Scott's. That's actually Ray Scott's cowboy hat. I will put your creation somewhere in the vicinity.
Well, I'm gonna tape it in a box, and I'm gonna send it to you in the mail.
Awesome.
It's a cardboard masterpiece. These things are fragile, and I don't know how. I'm gonna have to probably UPS plus to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll work out the funds. I mean,
but I do promise. I promise that's a really true story, and that's primarily what I was doing before. Also, when I was in school, I was doing musicals, dude. I was a music kid when I was younger.
Come on.
Yeah, I played the piano. I sang. I did musicals. I acted.
What?
Yeah, people don't know that about me. Mm-mm.
What? Would you sing for me right now?
I don't know any songs that well anymore.
Okay.
She's from Texas, I can tell by the way. She's two-stepping around the room. See?
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, and I'm an Ella fella hardcore. Are you?
A what?
An Ella fella?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, an Ella fella. Yeah. I think it's kind of creepy for me, but probably better for you.
It's not.
No. Isn't it?
She's an awesome singer. You're just a supporter of her music. That's an Ella fella.
That's what it is. That's it.
Yes. Yep. No, because Ella Langley
is she dating Theo Vaughn? What do you think?
No, I say no. Ella Langley is dating I knew at one point. Why am I blanking right now? I think here's the deal. I think picture like it's high school lunch and that cute girl is eating at the table with her boyfriend. And then there's that one kid, he's probably like 5'3". He's a little shorter, but he's still like really cool. He's really good at soccer. Yeah. And he's sitting at the table over, like crissy-cross, like four-quartered. And he is just peeking across, I think that's Theo. I mean,
is that?
I think that's Theo. And Theo's he's just fisting the mashed potatoes through his gullet, and Ella's talking to her boyfriend, respectively, and Theo's just peeking in on it. But at the same time, who knows? Because that guy could always, sneak in. Like Theo could be the man in a couple months. It could really, anything could happen. And that's the beautiful part about it all.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want it for Theo Vaughn. I mean, I feel like somehow this conversation has turned into, I don't even know the name of the show, but there is shows where they just talk about couples, like the Chicks. I think the Chicks on Barstool. That's what what are we? If they're the Chicks, we're the
Anything you want to be, really. I mean,
it's 2026.
Yeah, I'll be whatever.
Yeah, you will. And you'll freaking show up and be boat 26 in the Bassmaster Classic.
Dave.
How did that happen? Like, how did that get pulled off?
Oh, man.
Like, if people realized.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I may be Uncle Dave today, but I've been an absentee uncle this whole relation. Like, we've been knowing each other a long time, but we were born to run. And somehow that came off to excellence. Tell me how do you...
Well, I mean, how do you, like, first of all, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm going to go off on a limb and say there's probably never been something like that done before.
No. And we're probably going to have boats out there to make sure it doesn't happen again, because now you're going to inspire a lot of copycatters. But I mean, I'll always make it happen for you.
Dave, how did we do that? I mean, I'm reminiscing, and that was like, do you understand that was almost 2 months ago today, to exact?
That's how long it took us to connect.
It took us 2 months.
You've been busy, dude. You have been,
I just
doing
got
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
That was a 65-day road trip, man. That was like the Bassmaster Classic tournament was probably day 14 of day 65. That's the incredible part.
You were fresh. You were
I was fresh. And then
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Cobwebs start to grow. I had to come home and figure it out.
Yeah. Does that mean you like ran out of money or?
No, I just ran. Dave, there's always money to find. Okay. That's the way I've learned about it. Usually. I mean, it doesn't grow on trees, but there's always a bar or a restaurant that's willing to help out a little bit. But
how do they help out?
Oh, I have my ways of wording. The first part is you can't be scared, you know?
I don't think you are.
I'm not too scared about anything really. So I kind of, if I got to figure it out, I'll figure it out. You know, there's always a way. And most restaurants, if you go in and you bring your presence in with respect, you don't come off obnoxious or anything. You just you waltz in there. And let's say I have like $3. Okay. What I'll do is I will eat, I'll go sit down and the waitress will come over and I'll be extremely sweet. I mean, over the top, like you're the easiest customer that they have to take care of that day. That's your goal. And I will put the $3 on the table from the start. So she knows that it's sitting there. So it's a visual. I call it a visual aid.
Yeah.
And as I eat my meal and she comes and checks on me, she sees the $3, every time she comes and checks on me. So she's aware of the $3. And by the end of the meal, we've had so many conversations and it's so delightful. It's such a delightful departing at the end where I'll beg her pardon and I'll say, if let's say it's Stacy or whatever, I'll just say, Stacy, I've really enjoyed my meal tonight. I have horrible news. This $3 is all I had tonight. And I don't really know how to cover the rest of it, and you be honest, because at that point you really don't have any more in the truck. There's no more money. and I've had times where it's cool. I've had different situations. I've never had them get mad at me, but I've had them trade me something. Right. So there was this one restaurant, in the Vegas area that they had like this pile of dirt. They were spreading like mulch or something. And I was like, this is like my last dollars, I'm trying to figure it out how to get more money to keep this going. And I would do anything, and I've had at times where I've had to I've scooped some dirt. I've spread some mulch around, and the restaurant, they don't necessarily need the money. They just want the company, and they want they want people to be happy. And so that's what I've done. And I've gotten better at picking out which restaurant was going to be more accepting of that offer. But it's a wild life out on the road, Dave. It really is. Yeah. You know how it is. So
not quite like you do though. I mean, that seems like a different road that you have than
it's scrapping.
but I did. There was a time when I was your age. There was a time I dumb stuff.
How long ago is that?
That was a long time ago. 30 years ago. You're 20, right? Or 21?
Yeah, 22. Just turned 22.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, right there. I'm old, bro. And believe it or not, I feel this is the weird thing that nobody tells you. And you're going to just think this is just an old guy talking for the next few minutes here. But then one day you're going to be that old guy and you're going to be like, shit, he was right. But it is like life. I literally don't think I think I've settled at about 28. That's what I feel kind of mentally, you know what I mean? But clearly not there physically, but it you don't change, you know. You just act like an adult in front of your kids when you have kids. That's it. That's all.
You're a grown-up kid. That's all you are, right?
Yeah.
Like so, when you were up there and I was ripping by in that little John boat, you had to wish you were in the boat with me, right?
Today's high-tech fishing world can be a real pain in the neck, especially if you're running the wrong mounts. Beat Down Outdoors, they bring the graph to you. And they support this podcast and care enough about you to make this a short ad read. Check out Beat Down Outdoors. Now back to the show.
I was distracted, to be honest, because so the two tournament directors that were there was Hank Weldon and Chris Bose.
Okay.
And they hear me start to intro you. And first of all, people were like, well, what is that? This was my perspective from it. Well, what is that? Like, you know, you could see, and it built like a wave through the crowd. Like I saw it down there where you see people, you know, like when you're at a sports event and something happens, like a fight breaks out and you can't see the fight right away, but you hear the audience is reacting to something that then you're searching. That's what it was like. So the wave was building towards me and they've kind of come to the edge of where I'm standing now, looking at what is this thing that's coming this way. And then when I start to intro you, they looked at me like they had no idea. Like they were like, whoa, what is happening? And then afterwards, I just said, man, he's a big deal. It's a big deal. This was a special moment. And they just kind of shook their head and thought, whatever. Tell me about sorry.
Did anyone get mad at you?
No, I just said, you're a big deal. I said, he's huge. Trust me. He's a big deal. This is good for all of us.
See, I didn't know that there was that much weight being carried. So that would, if you would have told me that prior, I would have been
there was scared. No weight. There was no weight. It was just, it's weird for the MC to introduce really a dude in an aluminum, but I think it was wonderful. I mean,
I will say this too. And, you know, I will say that there was very few bad remarks about that whole deal.
Yeah.
It seemed to be very enjoyed. And I don't know, Dave. I mean, when we talked for, 30 seconds at dinner the night before about it, I'm not sure I was aware of what that would turn into suddenly. I knew it would be funny, and I was talking to Buddy Garrett there at the table and I was like, we need to I probably should do this. And then we're like, yeah, I need to talk to Dave about this. And so this is how it happened. Okay. I guess because we should probably just say this because there might not many people that know this. So night before, we're at dinner at this hotel and I'm sitting by my buddy Garrett Walters and his girlfriend. And we're talking about this idea. And it seems to be a really good idea. This needs to probably, be at least talked about or entertained.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make a video like fishing the classic, even if I wasn't in the takeoff, it was just like, I'm going to make a video fishing against the pros. That was the concept.
Yeah.
So that was the night before. And I had just bought that boat. So I didn't really have all the necessary gear. So I had to go to Walmart there in Knoxville that night and get a life jacket and a fire extinguisher. And then I went to Topgolf till 2 a.m. or whenever they closed and I was hitting balls. But anyways, so I literally, at dinner, let's rewind. At dinner, Dave was eating with his family. So Dave was walking by. I was like, Dave, I got an idea. And I said, I want to fish the Bassmaster Classic. I want to be boat 26. I want to fish against these pros. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Dave's like, I love the idea. Let's do it. Text me tonight what you want to be introduced as, because I needed a little bit of a spiel at the beginning to kick this off. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I'll come up with something. So after I got my fire extinguisher and life jacket at Walmart, I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot, right by the cart garage there and the cart reels. And I just texted Dave and I came up with the idea. And so we basically agreed on it. That's what the spiel was going to be. And I mean, Dave probably in his head was thinking, okay, this is going to be odd. How's this going to go? And it was like basically a soul to soul agreement of like, hey, this will be good. And we just trust each other. So I ended up not.
What did you expect my reaction to be before you asked me? Did you even think that far through? Like, did you?
No,
did you think I'd jump on board of it, or?
I didn't know. I mean, I think the idea was so fresh because the idea had been thought about only probably 3 to 5 minutes prior to asking you about it. So I don't think my brain had that much time to like dissect it. You know, it was just like, boom, here's an idea. This has to happen now because we've got to get ready for this. And it was like, Dave's either going to love it or hate it. And it worked. And
I loved it. I loved it. You didn't have to sell me hard.
So then I had a video to edit that night. So I went back to my hotel and I edited it all night long after Topgolf. And I edited until about 5 a.m., right? I didn't sleep that night. And then, so I took a shower probably at 5:30, did my hair. Cause I knew that if this went over well, you know, there would be girls. So I didn't want to like,
isn't there always? Isn't there always?
Well, let's just say more so in this Bassmaster Classic tournament. So what happened was I got prepared. You know, I wanted to come into this not looking like a vagabonder that had been on the road for 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to make it look like I was established in Knoxville, and I had my stuff together, right? I wasn't living out of my truck. Who would do that? So I at 5:30, I shower, get socks on, everything, get my camera. And I open this video in my hotel room. And now it's like 6 a.m. And correct me if I'm wrong, but takeoff that morning was probably around 7:45.
Yeah, it was late because of the time change. Yeah, 7:45, I think exactly.
Correct. Exactly, right? Now, the thing with me in my brain is an internal clock. Like right now, I probably could tell you close to what time it is within 4 or 5 minutes. But my brain in the same way will force me to be late because I perform way better under time crunch pressure. It's how I do it.
Sorry, I got to ask, what time is it?
11:28 my time.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is. So,
oh my gosh, that is amazing.
All right. Anyways, all right. So I roll. I feel
like I'm talking to a savant. Like you're like,
it's
like having a conversation with Beethoven.
I'm a time traveler at heart, Dave. I really am.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No apology needed. So I hook up boat 20. Well, not at the time, but I hook up the tin boat that I had bought in Nashville about 5 days prior. So I hooked this boat up and I'm pulling out of my hotel and I realized that I'm not going to be back to the hotel. So I had to go get another hotel room. So I ran in the office. The guy was crabby and tired, rubbing his eyes. I said, "Sir, I have a big opportunity right now. You're going to have to put a pep in your step." You know, I was respectful about it, but at the same time I was stern. I didn't want to waste time. Right. So I told this guy, and I remember his name too. I won't share it because it's just like whatever, but I got my hotel room, sprinted the truck. So here's the thing. And this isn't, so now we're getting into crunch time.
Yeah.
It's approaching. I had a 40-minute drive to this boat launch because I did not want to, what was the part called? That Voyager?
Yeah. I don't remember any, dude. I have a mind that like everything erases after I don't need it. No, volunteer landing. Boom.
Volunteer. I knew it was a V.
Yeah.
Volunteer landing. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to be seen.
Yeah.
And I needed an escape route because I didn't know how this was going to go. So I found a little launch that was about 2 miles downriver of downtown.
Yeah.
So I pull in there. It's pitch black in the dark. It's cold and it's early, and I'm by myself and I'm trying to find the boat launch because it was a bank. It wasn't a ramp. It was a bank. Okay. This guy pulls in as I'm backing my boat in. I'm getting everything ready. I'm scrambling because I'm late. I had it. I wish we did this sooner because I would have had numbers more accurate, Dave.
Yeah.
But I remember, from the time I like pulled into the launch, I had like 28 minutes or something to make it up to the park by you guys. And I had it estimated. I had because I can only go like 18 miles an hour in this boat. So I had it all figured out. It's a 15.
Nice one, though.
And I had it all mathematically planned because I knew I had to get there and I needed at least 10 minutes to film this, blah, blah, blah. So I had it all planned out. And I was running off no sleep and one Ghost energy drink. So I get to this launch. This guy pulls in and he's watching me and he's old. He's old, like, like hunched over, walking around. And I'm just like, what, do you need anything? Because he was just standing there and looking at me. And it was pitch black. He couldn't see anything. And I just could see this shadow figure standing by. And I'm like, hey, what's up? He said, oh, nothing. I'm like, okay, what do you need? And do you need anything? He said, oh, just waiting. For what? He said, oh, waiting for the tournament or whatever. Well, I was like an hour. I was like, he ended up basically telling me that he was there to watch me launch because he hadn't seen anyone launch in that launch for like 5 years. Word for word, Dave. And I'm standing there thinking, okay, like, what is this? What does that mean? Like, that just opened a can of worms. I don't know what this. Anyway, so I'm backing my boat in. I'm not kidding you. Picture rocks the size of bowling balls to bathtubs in this boat ramp.
Why? That's why nobody's launched there.
Right. And he said that. He said, I think there's rocks in there. And I said, sir, I don't have time. I don't have time to redirect this launching process. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm not going to let it slip away.
No.
So I get back in my truck, and I'm backing my boat down this ramp. And the noises that trailer was making, because those wheels, they're the size of a dinner plate. So they don't go over a rock very well because they hit a rock that tall, and it's like a wall. It's not even a rock. Yeah. So the trailer's like cracking, bending. It's like rolling up over these boulders. I finally get it in. I shove the boat off the trailer, pull the truck out, hop in, say peace out to my buddy, and I hop on the boat. Okay. Well, it's freezing cold. And I got about a 2.5 mile run up the Tennessee River to Knoxville where the Bassmaster Classic is approaching. And I start my motor and I just pin it. And I believe I had like 17 minutes to get up there. And I knew it was going to take me about 10. And so I knew I was cutting it real short. I mean, this was like down the line. There was big money on the line and things were happening and I had to be present for it. So I'm pinning my motor up and around these bends. It's just getting light out, still dark. And all of a sudden, Dave just boom. And I'm like, and it actually, I kept going and it didn't stop. And I was like, I knew I hit something. I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, well, I just hit a something, right? And I'm driving. This is all in video. And driving. All of a sudden my motor goes, and the light turned, like the red light blinking. And I'm like, my motor, I just blew it up. Like I'm screwed. And I had like 8 minutes or whatever of spare. So I knew I couldn't even troll motor up. Like I was done. That was it. So something in my instinct just told me to start it again. Like just try it. And I did. And it fired up and it frickin' ran. And I just kept going all the way up, Dave. All the way up. I had tears in my eyes running across my cheeks, flying out my ears because it was so cold. And just because I was, happy and scared. Yeah. And I got up there. And I overcame it. And it was the most intense, 45 minutes from leaving that hotel to launching the boat to getting up into downtown there, a couple mile run in the dark and dodging, huge logs floating. It really did something to me. And yeah. I made it up there and the cop boat or whatever was trying to kick me out. I said, sir, I'm in the event. I'm fishing this. Like you guys can't interfere with it. So I ran up around them and I set up for my takeoff. And that's how it all unfolded.
It was like the universe wanted to happen. Like when I saw that part with the cop, I mean, that's when you get stopped. Like your boat doesn't look like any others, show me some ID or something, but he totally, again, the way you carry yourself, he wanted to help you, it seems.
You didn't have anything to do with them, did you?
I did not. I didn't. And dude, I'll be honest. I'm running on 0 hours sleep myself at the Classic because it's busy. I forgot all about it. And then I thought about it during interviews. I was like, I don't see him out there. Like I looked down to see him. And then the next thing that I saw is up on my phone popped somebody from one of the social media things, and they've got a video of this dude out in the middle of the boats stretching and shit. that was you. Then I realized he's here.
Wait, so that's actually how it unfolded for you?
Yeah, like I didn't see you until, and then the takeoff finishes, and I immediately looked and didn't see your boat, but I had told you, give it 30, 45 seconds, whatever. We had our little, but I didn't see you coming. But then out of the corner of my eyes, started seeing you come. I mean, it was because the wave of people staying. What's that? So before we get to the actual takeoff, when you're stretching in front of other competitors, what are they feeling other than intimidated?
They are watching a kid in a $2,000 boat trying to steal their money in a way.
Yeah.
And that does things to them, because they look at their automatic live well, and they look at their 3 live scopes, and they look at their 300 more horse motor. And what it does to them is it makes them second guess everything, because even though I may look, not too intimidating in my boat, it's still the thought, Dave, and the brain's powerful. The brain is it completely functions the whole body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you can tap into a brain, you're controlling a human body. And I knew that if I wanted a shot at that $100,000 check, I had to show up, No, I might not be able to run 50 miles. No, I might not have a live well. But at the same time, if I was faced with that obstacle, I would overcome it, as I do with any obstacle that I face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just one of them things where I knew, when I was stretching my arms and my legs and whatnot and yawning, I knew that I was waking something up in them as well as waking me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was waking the whole aura up.
Yeah.
Everyone's aura.
The aura needed woken up. I mean,
it did. They were
especially
quiet.
where you were. Well, that was the back half of the field, right there. Like when you're back there, you're with 20 to 25th. So they're just kind of happy they didn't have to work the expo. They're getting to fish another day. And then you put a lion in the mix of a group of hyenas. They're going to get uncomfortable.
I wish we had like boat 22 in here, or whoever was in the back of the fleet there.
Yeah.
Because they had to witness it, or someone had to witness it that was fishing the tournament. Well, Brandon Pollinet came back. So I got down because Brandon had that late start, remember?
Yeah. He was in the penalty box.
The penalty box. So it took me about 15 minutes after I took off, but I got down around the first bend there, about a half mile down. And Brandon came by just going like 70 miles an hour, and he was freaking pumping in the air. He was so jacked up. So I would say that the majority of the guys in the fleet there at least caught a glimpse of what was going on. Maybe not, obviously not like maybe the first 10 boats, but maybe some of them back ones got to experience it. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If we were more professional, I would arrange it that we get the reaction from some of those guys, but we're not. So I've explained to you what it felt like from my end of takeoff. Well, what did you feel? Did you feel the energy from the crowd? Did you what was it like in your boat?
I will say the honest truth is that I didn't I don't remember the moment very well. It was my body kind of just took over in the moment. And
you hear that from athletes a lot.
Yeah. It's when it's your time to perform, you let your habits take over. And I've been practicing for so long that it really just, it unfolded quickly. And then it was like, okay, I'm in it, this is happening. And, my throttle control, my direction, everything kind of just automated itself. And I just kicked my feet up and, threw my fist in the air. And That's usually what I do in a situation like that. But I will say that I have been able to enjoy it the most through watching footage when I was editing it, because I got to re-feel it, relive it more through videos than I did in real life, because real life was pretty much a blur, you know? I mean, that, like, honestly, that 18 seconds or whatever from coasting down the dock and then taking off, I don't remember being in that position, really. I remember looking up at you kind of and being like, boat 26. But that's such a, like, extreme moment, I think, for someone that that's not, you don't remember the little, you just do it. Like, you're in it and it's like happening. And then afterwards you think about it and it's like, wow, what did I just do? Like, I got about 100 yards up the river and my front camera started to fall in. So I had to stop. And then I was just like, I mean, I think I captured it pretty well, but I was just like, I don't know what I just did. Like, I just literally just pulled that off. And I didn't even know where I was going to fish either. You know, I didn't know my first spot.
Yeah.
I had to figure that out.
Did you figure that out though?
I did. And then here's what happened, Dave. I pulled up to a spot and, you know, I've caught several 8, 9 pounders. Not quite in Tennessee, but I've seen enough of them on live scope to where I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And, I pulled up to this, I got about probably, there was this creek inlet down there, probably, I don't know, it was like half mile. I think it takes a long time in that boat. Right.
Yeah.
And I only have so much gas propulsion too in the tank. So I pull up on this creek bed and I dump my live scope. You know, it's all I do is live scope. And, I'm looking around in this creek bed, there's rocks, stumps. And I saw, like, I think it was 3, it might've been 4. There was a handful of these giants and they were, I mean, 8 to 9 pounds. So I didn't know how big the Tennessee fish were. You know, that was my first time launching it in the river. I had never fished it. So I cast a minnow at him in one bit and I got it to the boat and it was big. You know, I didn't want to weigh it because I didn't even want to know what I found. Here's the real truth. I didn't want to ruin the tournament, you know, and I knew that if I pulled up and caught like a legit bag of fish, then my reputation would be like, oh, this kid, you know, he's a theft. I would steal the check, right? Like, I didn't want to interfere with the actual tournament. So I found that spot and I ended up just backing off. I rethought everything. I was like, you know what? I did what I wanted to do. You know, I fished, I experienced takeoff. I found fish that I could potentially place well. And I backed out of there and I ended up going back to the expo and hanging out just because it was too much for me to handle. I wasn't, be honest with me, Dave, like, okay, it's 1 PM. We did take off everything. And I shoot you a text. I'm like, yo, Dave, I have like 33 pounds today. Well, like, then what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go across the stage with aluminum, right? I mean, I could have drugged the boat behind me across the stage and I wasn't going to make an impact like that. So I decided that the fishing side of it could stay low key. And I was going to let my buddy Dylan take that. So it was, you know, it was one of them situations where I had to really be careful with my next step. And I was walking around mouse traps and stuff.
Yeah. You kept it pure, kept the angling part of it pure. You don't have to sully it with success and money.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw them, you know, it's not that I didn't see the fish there. I know there was big ones in there. And I told Dylan too, afterwards, I was like, Dylan, like, I know, you know, that where that spot was. And I was like, why, you know, what was the reason for keeping it so close? Cause he could have done so much better. There was giant fish everywhere in that river. And I just feel like a lot of those guys underperformed for how many monster fish I saw in live scope. Like, huge fish, dude. 8 at least. They had to be 8 pounds. They were like giants. I mean, you know, like a blimp on live scope if it's like a 24-inch fish, it might show up as like 30, but it's the idea that counts, where I'm just saying there was big fish everywhere in that river. And the fact that some of them guys were struggling to catch a 5-pounder was just like, you know, I wanted to take him in my boat, show him, but that was illegal. So I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Big live scoper?
Big live scoper.
What do you think of the people that, like, what's your take? Can you understand that there's people that don't like it?
No, I totally understand them. I respect everyone, Dave. I really do. I love everyone.
Man of the people.
I'm a man of the people. I love everyone. An old guy that hates it, I love him the same as a young guy that's amazing at it. It's like, here's the deal. I'm a deep person. I understand psychology is the word. I understand the way the brain works. I understand people. I understand the evolution of technology in the industry. And I truly believe that humans are so much far deeper and cooler than an argument about live scope. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Here's the deal. Yeah, it changed a lot in the fishing industry, and it makes it way easier to find fish. Absolutely. And it's like, how many times those guys that hate it, I would argue to say that the guys that hate it probably haven't used it a ton, and that's probably part of the issue. It's something that is like, if it comes into your space, as an older guy, as a person that has fished his whole life without it, and it comes into the picture, I can see how you're mad at. Absolutely. Like, it would piss me off too, man. Cause it's like all these kids are winning tournaments in ways that never were an option for them. And that makes total sense to me. But at the same time, I also have an extremely open brain towards everything in life. And I think that change is good, man. Change is great. And we've been changing since the day one. So it's like, how far do we take that? How many relationships or opportunities do you let that ruin just because of the fact that humans don't like change sometimes when it might be okay?
Yeah. Wow. What do you think of the reaction to your video?
It went nuts right away. Well, because I'm throwing a blank right now, but one of the social media ladies I've been talking to at Bass, but we collabed on the post. Oh, Laura. Yes, yeah. Laura. We collabed on the post, and it went well. And I just, like I said earlier, people didn't seem to hate it. And I think it was really cool. Once again, bouncing back on this idea of having an open mind. It's a big industry, but it's very small. And you know that.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting to see that concept do well because it's so relatable, it really is. And I think that's the cool part about having this boat is like, I owned one of these boats when I was 16 years old or 17 in high school. Like, this was my first boat. And now, yeah, I could have a nice boat, but I have a junky boat because it's fun and it's real, and like to be able to show that, thanks to you at that level I think it really impacted people in a great way.
Yeah. Like
it's the image, right? The image of a bass fisherman is a bass boat. It's fast. It's expensive. It's fancy. It's shiny. It's blah, 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 which is cool. And that's like the heart of it because that's what built bass fishing, kind of the newer part of bass fishing. But it's so cool to throw it back, man. Throw it back to the old days and just keep it simple and come out in a little boat that can't handle all the same stuff. I think that's so cool. That's why I was so proud to be a part of it because it grounded a lot of things, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you
grounding.
Agree?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of grounding.
Yeah, grounding everywhere.
I mean, honestly, that's the thing about fishing. You can do it any freaking way you want. Like there's some people who want to fly fish. There's some people who want to fish in a high performance bass boat. There's some people who have saltwater boats that run more in gas than a bass boat even freaking costs. So it's literally, you can do it or you can do it off the shore or whatever. You did a lot of it afterwards. Like you literally just got home. Where did you go after the Bassmaster Classic? Give me a snapshot of your next 6 weeks.
Yeah. Snapshot next 6 weeks. Left the Bassmaster Classic. That snowstorm moved in, so I left there. I went south to I had my birthday, I think, so I went down to Central Florida for a few days, fished a few lakes. And then I went down to the Keys for about a week and a half, fished around there in the boat. And then I ran up to Jupiter, Florida, or West Palm, and I was trying to film on the ocean, but I had a couple bad days with weather. So I ran back to Okeechobee in Clewiston, and I hung out with Scott Martin for about 4 days, stayed at his place, fished Okeechobee, fished with him. Then after that, weather cleared up, ran back to Jupiter, filmed on the ocean in the John boat in the Intercoastal Waterway. That was pretty crazy. And then from there, I drove up to Central Florida by my buddy, and Winter Haven for about 3 weeks. Flew home for a few days walleye fish, flew back to Tampa, back to Winter Haven, fished around there, filmed some stuff. And then I went to Tampa for a couple of days, fished with a buddy or hung out with a buddy. And then from Tampa, I went straight north to, what's up there? I went through Mississippi. I went up into Memphis, Tennessee, took a kid fishing there. That was cool, man. You probably didn't see that. I took a kid So I was filming this video by the Bass Pro Pyramid in the backwaters of Mississippi. And this young kid came up with his dad's boat and hopped in my boat and took a picture and said hi. And then I invited him in my boat and he came fishing with me for an hour. So I took him fishing in the boat 26 there in the backwaters, and we caught a big carp, and it was really fun. But then after that, I packed that up, headed into Arkansas for a few days, reset
Was that the video of fishing in the most dangerous city?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That was a good one.
And then I found this little town with an Applebee's in it, and I hunkered down there for 2 days, and I reset and I did some editing. And actually one night I was riding my scooter and I almost got jumped on the scooter, but, that's just Arkansas things. So I kept going there and I got on the road and I went up to Table Rock Lake in Missouri. It's one of my favorite places ever. And I got a buddy there on Table Rock. So he gave me his house to stay in for the week and hunkered down in Branson. I got a magician buddy in town. So I went to his show, and then I finished up there, and I was slowing down, man. I was really slowing down towards the end there. So finished it up in Branson, and then I hit the road and I drove through the night, 13 hours back home, and landed here. And I've just been resetting. I've been fishing every day here too, though. I've been crushing fish, man. It's David's chatterbait time right now, baby.
Really? They smoking it?
Oh yeah. It's fun, man. The waters are like 58 around here, and find them on the right day, and it's just so fun. So I've been running boat 26 around Wisconsin.
Are people impressed when they see the boat now? Like, does it have its own aura?
It does. It carries itself. I don't even have to say anything. I don't have to even, it explains itself. Like the image of it, that's the cool part. Like I can go to a gas station or whatever, and it's just like the boat is there. You know, it has nothing to do with me. It's the boat. And I love that because I just will sit in my truck and they'll take pictures of the boat and everything. And I don't even have to, I just kind of let it do. I just eat my roller dog and let it do its thing.
You like roller dogs?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they're a desperate call, but if I need one, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Quick Trip's better. Quick Trip's got many more options up here.
Yeah. Are you, so what's next for you? Like, did you just follow the fish? Is that literally your life?
No.
Like, you seem to have come home when the fishing got good.
Yeah, I used this trip as a reset. I kind of ran myself into the dirt this winter. It got too cold. So that trip started off as being a reset trip. I basically had to restart. I went down to Huntsville, Alabama, to Gunnersville for about a week, and I bought a tent and I camped, and I kind of like figured out everything again. Because sometimes a guy's got to do that with himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did that, and then I bought the boat. And then it just kind of evolved into a 65-day road trip. I didn't plan it on being that long, but I just kind of went. I was blowing tires.
You blew a lot of tires. It feels like.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, well, that's my first thing that I need to focus on. But really, Dave, what happened with it is I don't really follow fish. I kind of follow my heart. You know, fishing's a part of it, but like, I have some big things I want to do this summer that are really extreme, and I might not make it out of them, but they're things that like, they're going to make me happy in the moment. And that's pretty much all that I chase now. So,
well, would you tell me what kind of things you got planned? Or do you got to keep them secret?
No, I'll tell you one of them. I want to do, it depends on how I film it, but I either want to do, I want to do all 5 Great Lakes in a week.
Yes.
But I have this temptation to really push the limits, and I want to go across all 5 lakes in a boat.
Wow.
Like top to bottom. Like I want to launch into.
Better pick the days.
Yeah. No, it would be extreme. I don't know if I could do it, but it would literally be a boat ride from Duluth, Minnesota to I'm throwing a blank. Past Toronto. What's past Toronto? What's up there? More towards New Brunswick.
Oh, you're going to go all the way up to St. Lawrence? Like you're going to go across Lake Ontario right up to, are you going up to St. Lawrence? I mean, dude, you keep going, you go to the ocean.
I would try to make it to like Montreal.
All right.
But that's just one of my ideas. And the issue is that Lake Michigan's like a little skin tag, and it kind of just throws off the whole route. So like all the other lakes are beautiful, flowy, and then you got Lake Michigan, and it's just like it's just the annoying little stepbrother, and I don't know how I would tackle that one because it's just a battle.
Well, do you got to cross it, or can't you just like?
I don't know. I can't change the way they're laid out, so I would technically just have to dip my motor in it and I'd count it. But it's like, God, that would defeat the purpose. I want to go across all 5.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I want to dabble with the Great Lakes in a dangerous way, is what I'm saying. But that's just one idea.
Yeah, be safe.
I know, but at the same time,
you're 22.
Yeah,
and nobody thinks about consequences when they're 22.
I need to think more about them. I was going to take Scott Martin was going to follow me in his Freeman to the Bahamas. I was going to drive the 14-footer from. We were gonna basically charter the 14-footer out, but
yeah,
that would have been a historical run too. I'm trying to think of how it was like 50 miles, maybe 70 miles from.
It's far.
Yeah, it's a long ways. But the first Bahamas, the first it'd be doable.
Well, yeah, especially if you got a boat following you, that'd be good. I mean, I don't think you could do it without a boat following you. How much gas would you need to go that far? I mean,
a lot. I get about that motor's a baby. That's the beautiful part. Like that motor, I can go forever. I mean, on a 5-gallon gas tank, I bet you I get 20 miles out of it.
All right.
Serious.
What is the plan for the rest of your life? Just to do stuff like this and continuously? No. Like, are you worried that in 5 years, like if you're trying to cross the Great Lakes now, by the time you're 27, you're going to have to like live with tigers for a night?
Yeah, I worry about that. And I would say that's my biggest worry. I have a very strong, I have a huge motivation to always just do it crazier, and I think partly like these road trips they're extreme. They are so extreme, Dave, and they're fun and funny and I make fun, but there is so many logistical issues that I run. Like they are so hard. And like last fall I did all 50 states in 7 weeks. That was crazy. I did the lower 48 in 49 days in a truck camper. And then I sold the truck camper and I flew back to back from Alaska to Hawaii and I got the last 2. So it was 50 in 7 weeks. So like, what do you do after that?
Yeah. I mean, you're consuming the world at a rapid pace. I mean, what's next? European invasion?
I don't know. I think it'd be a good series to take one ways into countries and just figure it out. And then if I take I kind of just want to fly to, actually probably soon I'm just going to fly to Sweden. I'll take a one way to Sweden and get a car and just see what happens for like 10, 15 days. And just like, what's going to go wrong? I'm going to meet people. I'm going to eat some decent food and maybe catch a fish and I'll come back home and figure it out. There's so many, that's the good part. Cause I've ran out of states already. So it's like countries are my next obstacle, but there's so many countries that should keep me entertained for at least a few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do you do then? I mean, if you run out of countries, then I'm going to have to take my engineering mind and try to build rockets, and I'll start working into that more, and I'll try to be leaving the earth, doing other things.
Oh, I mean, you got to go where your heart takes you.
Yeah. Or the oceans. We've only explored not much of them.
Yeah. You might have to upsize the boat though, no?
No, I mean, I don't know. Do you think?
Depends, I guess. I mean,
does it
run good in the rough water?
It does. I mean, I almost died in it in the ocean, but it didn't flip. I mean, I had some very close calls. I've done some very dumb things, Dave, but I've learned from a lot of them too, which is all that really matters. Because that boat tempts me more than it should. Because I know I have so much confidence in it at this point where it's either gonna, make me very happy, or I don't know. I don't want to die in that boat. That's the issue. Like it's a fun boat to be with, but it's one of them deals where like if something went wrong, it really could go wrong in that boat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to it. No, I know, but it's like I also, I don't want you to be scared with this mindset because I do take precautionaries.
What? I thought this was going to be like a 20-minute segment. It never ends.
What do you think about it, Dave? Tell me your honest thoughts.
As long as you take precautionaries. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I just don't worry about it. I do though, at times, but not all the time.
So why do you do it all? Do you do it all for the gram? Do you do it all for YouTube? Like, why do you do it all?
I don't even know why I do it all. And I feel like as I've grown up more, I feel like I'm I used to be, it's all changed so much. I started this when I was young, and I'm still young, but I'm 5-6 years into this now too. So it's like the stuff that I was doing when I was 15, 16 years old, part of that doesn't leave me, but then the older Jiren kicks in and it's, I kind of start to think more, all right, let's do this instead. Let's think this way instead. But there's parts of me that will never change ever. I just think they're part of, that's how I am, I don't think when I'm 30, no, I won't be doing the same type of stuff when I'm 30. I don't think.
No, probably not.
It'll evolve. I mean, I'm 22. I think I'm still somewhat young. So it's like, why not? I don't know.
Live life.
Yeah. Why not live life?
What does your family think of what you do?
They don't really know anymore. No, they're very supportive. They're very supportive. Yeah, they love it. They love it. I mean, they've watched it from day one too. They didn't always get it. The first few years were tough, really tough.
I imagine.
They didn't know. They didn't understand any of it. They would. That was a challenge for sure. And then, kind of making it my thing, like full time is. I mean, they didn't know. They're like, what? But when you prove yourself to mom and dad, the world's your oyster.
That's what they say.
Dave, the world's your oyster.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. My end goal is movies. I want to act and I want to make probably one of the best.
I could see movies. That. And that's a full circle moment from your musicals.
Right.
To the silver screen, so to speak.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Could you imagine?
Imagine what this clip right now is worth then. Like if you become The Rock. Yeah. You will allow me to retire one day.
Yeah. Instantly too. Instantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because you'll be able to clip, because we've been filming for an hour, so you'll be able to clip 100 videos out of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I will monetize the shit out of our friendship.
I know. That's good. That's how it should be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it should be. I mean, you get back to the world. I mean, you got the Amish guy a date, right? Like you
Amish dude, Timmy. I give back a lot. I really do, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, I would say I've almost screwed myself in a lot of ways doing this because of that fact, because I've spent a lot of my youth time focusing on how to make other people happy, which is a weird trade-off. And I've had to learn how to deal with the consequences of that, which is probably one of the reasons I struggle sometimes. But, when you embark in the journey of comedy, you don't realize what that does to you personally, because you don't think about what should I do tonight to enjoy myself. It's like, what video can I make to make the most people laugh tonight? And that's a weird concept, man. I'm very thankful for it that I get to do that. But that's been something that's not something you're taught, So I've had to really figure out how do I maneuver through this, because I love making comedy. I love making people laugh. And it makes me wonder, someday I hope to have connections with like really successful people in the acting space. Like my dream would be to sit down with, one of my favorite movies ever is Dumb and Dumber. So I'd love to sit down with Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey and just be hey, how do you guys navigate the comedy life? And how do you make sure that you stay happy while making everyone happy? Because that's a weird thing. It's a weird thing being that person that everyone looks to just to laugh,
Avco not only makes incredible outdoor clothing, but they care about anglers with their 10% pledge. Avco and the Shed family donate at least 10% of the company's profits to conservation and making fishing better. Now back to the show.
Yeah, the pressure of it.
Pressure, yeah, a lot of pressure all the time. So one of the ways I've learned to cope with it is be real too, like incorporate myself into it, my real self, which has gone over really well. I was scared to do that for a long time. That's a hurdle that not a lot of people take, because it's weird. But people have accepted it really well. Like I would say that in the year 2026 already, like I've changed, my brand has changed. What I do has changed, which is good. Change is how things grow. That's how you do it. Like that's good.
Need to evolve.
It evolves. Yeah.
Jim Carrey once said that he played Jim Carrey for so long that he forgot who Jim Carrey was. You're never going to forget who Buddy. First of all, is it Buddy or Jaron? Like, what should I refer to you as?
Well, my name's Jiren Clinch.
Okay. So I'll call you Jiren.
Yeah. But like Buddy J is just like the general term. But I don't really, Jaron is just kind of the personal name. It's my name.
Do you think you'll ever forget who you actually are?
Like myself?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I could do that. I don't have that in me.
Yeah.
I think there'll be times where I am pulled from it further than sometimes, but I have such a core, Dave. I had a really good, bringing up, had good family, good. I don't know. Could it happen? It's hard to tell in the future. I don't really know what'll happen. I have no idea where this will even lead. I have no idea. It's already led in a way that I don't know. I've never really guessed it to be, so I don't know. It's a wild journey, and it's part of it's exhausting because there really is. There are so many unknowns, I don't know. I don't know what I will be doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'll do next week. I don't know, if I'll make a movie. There's so many unknowns. And I would say one of the toughest parts is when you live a life that's unique like that, you, especially with me on the road so much, like my friendships are tough, so that's a tough part of my life too, just because a lot of my friends have, normal, consistent lives that are comfortable, and that's like really cool. And I'm happy for them. And I don't really have that. So it's, you're living a unique life, but you also there's not a whole bunch of people out there to relate to that, So I don't know. But it's really fun. Like I love that too. It's because it is unique. And I feel like when you figure things out, by yourself, makes you a stronger person.
Yeah. Wow. This has been this is either the greatest show we've ever made.
Well,
or
there's
not.
A lot of I told you there's a lot of layers to me, man. I
want to dig deep in those layers in the future. Like I think we need to have you back on. Like we need to do a Unk and Jer segment every once in a while just to find out where you are in the world, because I think what I'm saying is I want to latch on. I want to latch on before you dominate the silver screen. I want to become, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get
it. I want you to be the waitress. I want you to be the waitress, and I want to be the one begging for the free meal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it now. So I'm going to serve you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for doing this, dude.
Dave, where do you think it'll lead? Where do you think it'll all go?
I think there is no limit where you go, my friend. I think.
What do you think an option is, though?
I think there's a lot of options, a lot of directions. I mean, you can end up a lot of places, but I feel like it's going to end up in a really good place. Like, I think you're going to end up. I could see you being a guy that people would say, "Hey, he used to fish a lot." I could see you being a mainstreamer. And when you get there, I could see you not returning my call whatsoever.
Really? You think I'd do that to you, though?
I don't know. I'm just saying it so you don't. So you're like, damn it, I don't want to return his call, but I'm going to prove him wrong.
Well, if I became a
playing the long game,
if I became a mainstreamer ever, do you think Bassmaster would ever let me film a scene for a movie taken off in the Bassmaster Classic, or no?
I think yes.
You think so?
I think we won't. I think we'll do exactly what we did last time and beg for forgiveness. Just do it. Like, I think if we get all messy with the corporate types, it'll get corporate. But I think we just have you drop in. I don't know, helicopter, whatever, however you're traveling at the time.
Mm-hmm. And we do it in a 10 aluminum.
Yeah.
How cool would it be? Yeah, I got an idea. How about cool would it be? Because I probably will have a helicopter at some point. How cool would it be is if I flew in with a 14-footer under a rope and I dumped it in the river and jumped out.
Just set it there.
Could you imagine that? Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Dave.
I know. It's so good. I actually think I'd rather not have you jump out. I'd rather you ride in. Oh, you're in the aluminum. Just imagine this. Helicopter starts coming down and somebody's going to make this by AI. It's going to be awesome. And I see you just in the back of that. And everybody's just like, just imagine in today's terms, like if The Rock just lowered down in front of that crowd in Knoxville, they would have went absolutely nuts. It would have been on every newscast.
Yeah. That's how you see it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
Imagine I get in that boat and the motor doesn't start. Oh, that'd be even better, wouldn't it? Oh, it's from here on out, Dave. It's got to be a Mercury, man. The things I put that motor through, I can't explain to you. I love a Mercury motor. Plus, they're made about 28 minutes down the road from me, so that's cool too. But I think it would be
this show's sponsored by Yamaha. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Both great on it.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, I've never had a Yamaha. They should probably send me one. I want to try one.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure when this all plays out, you'll have. It'll be like a buffet. Like you just choose what you want. I mean, the world is your oyster.
I don't need much, Dave. I just need to keep following my passion because I think that's all I need to do.
Yeah.
It seems to work. Even though I run into struggles, it seems to work out for me. It's weird.
No, the universe wants you.
You like the Green Bay Packer Cup?
I'm a big Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Good.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Feels great.
Yeah. I bet it does. I bet it really does, actually. Can't imagine.
Yeah. No, I mean.
So you have sat in that chair 252 times and done this?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's the coolest person you've spoken to, would you say? You can't say me though. If you were gonna, I don't know what you're trying to do there.
I know I was trying to. I mean,
You can't say me though.
I would say you're one of the most. This show went way different directions than I ever imagined.
Did it?
It's hard to say. I mean, I've talked to everybody. You know, like you name it in fishing. I mean, but I'd say, you know, that's a hard question to ask because I can't think of one, and I'm also going to piss off 200.
Yeah.
And 50 others.
Right. Yeah, I don't do that.
So
then.
I've learned a long time ago, play the home field. It's you.
Oh,
And it's always been you.
really? Thank you, Dave. Thanks. Let's keep the 251s happy. You know?
No, they don't listen after they've been on. Let's be honest. I mean,
Do they really not?
I don't know. Will you?
They do. Yeah, for sure. They do.
Even if you don't listen, just play it that week. Just
right.
Be a friend.
Yeah. That's how it works, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good chat.
It's been a really good talk. Hour and 14 minutes. That's incredible.
It's the longest 20-minute segment ever.
Do you think there will be anyone that watches this to start to finish? Do you think?
I think so. I think so.
There'll be a few?
I mean, I hope so. I mean,
we should do this, Dave. Let's find out.
What?
I got an idea.
What are we going to do?
Because this is on YouTube.
Yeah.
If anyone made it to the end, I want them to just comment. Just comment the number 26.
That's strong.
Or would people? No, people wouldn't copy that. No. Okay. So the only people that comment 26 will know that because they made it this far.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they won't do it if they haven't made it this far.
Right. I don't think they would. No. That's why I'm trying to think. Do we use a word that's really weird instead?
No. 26 is strong.
Okay. 26. Just the number 26.
It's not a big commitment. Yeah. I need you to promote the crap out of this. Because there's a good chance some of my audience is at this point and they're like, what in the just happened?
Because they don't know. They have nothing.
But they will. They didn't understand The Rock at first either. He came out, he was Rocky Maivia. They rejected him. They pushed him away. They didn't want any part of him, even though he had history, he had lineage, he had all. They didn't want any part of him. And then The Rock had to come out. He had to turn. He had to make a heel turn. I'm not saying you do, but sometimes great things people don't understand at the start.
Yeah.
Good times.
It might be a great thing, Dave. It really might be. Who knows?
Yeah. That really, it's definitely a thing.
I'm a Wisconsin kid at heart, though, every day.
Through and through.
But I don't know if I want to live here. That's the thing.
Why?
I don't know. I love it, but I don't. It's just weird.
Love-hate relationship.
I've found a lot of cool places out there.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you should be tied down to one spot. I think
I don't think I can right now.
You're Wisconsin's own, but you're really the world's own. I mean, I
have to, yeah. I can't, yeah. I can always come back here. I think, is 22 young, would you say? Is 22 pretty young?
I'd say. Yeah, 22 is pretty young. I mean, but here's what I do think. I look at what you're doing, and I can guarantee you, when you're 50, you're going to look back and be like, damn, I did some cool stuff when I was 22.
I think so.
And that's, dude, the two most important people to keep happy in your life is your old self and your below 10-year-old self. You think about it. Like if you're 80 and you're like, damn, I lived a good life. And if your 8-year-old version of you saw what you were doing and said, dang, I can't wait to get there, you're living a good life.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That is a good way to look at it.
That's why people tune in for this show, bro. Little motivational.
Right.
Little.
Yeah. It's all
conversational.
It's all about divisions, Dave. Shoot your shot, what you got, boy. Shoot your shot, what you got, boy. You know? Holy crap.
Should we end this or?
Yeah. Because I got to go eat. I'm starving now. I haven't ate.
Oh gosh, you did this on an empty stomach. You trooper.
Yeah,
Again, you overcame.
I know. I just rolled out of bed and did this.
Both 26 in the Bassmaster Classic, but number one in your heart.
Oh, Dave, oh, that was sweet. That was a good way to go out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for having me on, Dave. This was a really fun time. I didn't think you would go an hour 18 either. But
no, but you won't stop talking every time I try to hit the end button.
I know we got to let them go because they got to.
Let's stop it. I'm gonna count. You hang up first.
Okay, I'll hang up first.
No, don't really, because I need the file to load. That was just.
Byron's bunker. He tells a story and then sells you some stuff.
Byron Velvick. It is Byron's bunker, and it is back in your life. It's been on a bit of hiatus. I mean, you were supposed to be here like once a month, and it's kind of once a year.
Hey, I was doing this last spring. We were doing this all last spring into the summer. So I appreciate you having me on. And then I got caught up with everything else.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good to have you back. Studio looks good. You sound good. Everything good?
You know, I haven't been in the studio in forever. If anybody's wondering, Fishtails, was a Livingston Lure YouTube thing, and I'm no longer with Livingston, and so not being with Livingston, I took it a hiatus, and I think just yesterday, Monday, we're going to air the old shows, and I'm going to start doing new shows. So I'll be back in the studio, Dave. I'll be back in the studio doing shows, but it's been since the Bassmaster Classic that I haven't been with Livingston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big changes. You're never the same, Byron. Like everybody else comes on here to make sponsor announcements. You come on here to make
sponsor drops. Hey, I'm a free agent. I got to put free agent on everything.
This makes for rent.
My social media is taken off, and at the same time, as you know, dude, thanks for having me on because I'm just following in the footsteps. I'm a fledgling little Dave Mercer, trying to get a squirrel. Not trying to get a squirrel, but yeah, dude, it's been great. It's been awesome to get into social media, and thank you for all your advice, Dave. Yeah. So I got to tell you, dude, so we're doing the Fishtails on the YouTube channel. This week is Bill Dance. Next week we're going to air Mark Zonas, and the week after that, Dave Mercer. So You're going to be on the show we did. You were my first guest on Fishtails.
But ranked my very first third.
But ranked third? You knocked it out of the park. No, because we had to start with Bill Dance because we have the 2-part show.
Bill Dance, yeah.
And then my guy's like, should we do Mercer or Zona? I'm like, well, we could do. I'll put you on next if you want. But it's the old show. No,
Zona deserves to be on before me.
And then after that is going to be Skeet Reese and Bobby Barrick and Gary Klein, and the list goes on and on. So Fishtails is on my YouTube channel now. So you're gonna get a new run.
Nice. Well, check out Fishtails back, and you're shooting more shows. Like after you rerun these ones, you're shooting new shows.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing news shows as well. A lot of people asked what happened to Fishtails, and with Livingston, it was all on their YouTube channel. So I had to start a YouTube channel. You'll be proud of me. I think I got 112 subscribers. I'm just killing it, Dave. I got and anybody, please know that when you subscribe, my mom's like, I don't want to subscribe because I don't want to pay any money. I go, Mom, it's not going to cost you any money to subscribe. My dear mom didn't want to put her credit card online. I'm like, I got to explain to all my friends it doesn't cost anything to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Do you fight that battle? Do you have that problem?
No. Most people just know you just subscribe, but I'm glad your mom's not worried. Have you been scamming her a lot in life, Byron? Is that why she's nervous?
I think some of my friends that are much older than me, why can't YouTube should call it support or join or follow more of these, but subscribe scares the heck out of a lot of people. And so I hear there's a reluctancy among the people that I grew up with that say I don't want to subscribe because I don't want to give them my credit card. Yeah. I don't know. Go figure. But so my mom finally subscribed after I convinced her she didn't need to put a credit card on there.
Nice. Well, get over there, folks, and subscribe to Byron's YouTube channel. We'll make sure to put a link in the description and everything.
Real Byron Velvick. Look, real. Hey, look. Grandpa's real Byron Velvick.
Simple.
Look, I got it. My grandpa's rod. Real.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
this
man.
is Byron's Bunker. The rules are pretty simple. You tell a story and then we sell some stuff. So are we going to sell some stuff first, or are we going to tell the story first?
Dude, I love it when you got me thinking about great stories, and you said let's do something you haven't talked about on either your channel or your TikTok or your Instagram. Because ever since December, January, I've had a girl that's been helping me, Corey, and she's like a personal trainer. So I've been giving all these stories. But then the story came up. People have wrote in and they said, talk about the Astro van. And I don't know, Dave, do you remember the Astro van? Were you around when I was cruising in the Astro van?
I was not around when you were cruising in Astro van, but I've heard plenty about said Astro van. I mean,
You take it. Oh,
the Astro van to me is to bass fishing what the Millennium Falcon was to Star Wars. It is a fabled vessel.
oh, you know what I've never told in my entire life, Dave? And this is where I'm excited. I've never told the story of my early days fishing and my struggle with getting a tow vehicle. And the Astro van fits into this story so nicely. But honestly, I think I did 300,000 or 400,000. One of my friends told me it was 500,000. I put so many miles on an Astro van going back and forth across the country. I actually wrote in a Chevrolet back when they used to have that thing, you know, you get a little shirt and it says, I'm a 300,000 miler or I'm a 400,000 miler. I rolled that thing over more times than I remember. I rolled the odometer over going from California to Florida, California to New York. And I towed my little bass boats, whichever company, whichever boat I had, I literally put 300,000 or 400,000. I think the Army built it. It was a 1985 Chevrolet Astro van, 2-wheel drive, Dave, 1985. And I drove the wheels off it, but it's a great story of how it all started with my tow vehicles.
So why an Astro van? Why was that the choice?
Okay, this is really timely. I was living in California. Some friends of mine were, it was actually a guy from Iran, Iranian guy. He was related to the Shah. They were family of the Shah. And when the Shah, this is true story. You remember when the Shah got ousted, like in 1979, 1980?
Okay.
And there was a big problem. The Iran used to be this great country. And then the Ayatollah and all that stuff, which is very timely right now, they escaped Iran. And my buddy's name, I won't say his last name, was Hassam. I won't say the last name because they were kind of in hiding and they lived in Newport Beach. So Hassam and my other friends, they were like Iranian royalty. They lived up in Newport Beach, up on Spyglass Hill, beautiful house. And the kids were into selling cars. So I'm a kid, I don't have any money, and I need a tow vehicle, and they were wholesalers. So what they would do is I was a driver for them. Like we were all friends, but they would take me to the auction, and I'd be at the auction, and they'd buy a bunch of cars, and I would drive the cars back to Newport Beach or Irvine or wherever. And we were just a group of guys that hung out buying cars. So I need a tow vehicle because I'm, just getting out of high school into college. And I said, well, the best place to buy a tow vehicle is at the used car auction, the wholesale auction. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where the dealers just buy cars. So my first one, Hassam, and the other guys, all these Iranian, Persian guys that are really cool, great friends of mine, would take me to the auctions, and I would see these opportunities, Dave. It's like if I had the cash, I could just come up with like 4, 5, 6 grand, 7 grand and get a tow vehicle. And it didn't matter what it was. Like I was just looking. So the first thing I got was a Bronco. And I got this old, really beat up Bronco. But what I didn't realize, it had retreads on it. And I am towing a boat back from Lake Havasu, Colorado River, fishing a Redman tournament, and the tire explodes. You remember retreads? If you have a retread, it disintegrated. And that particular Bronco was an old, like O.J. Simpson, the O.J. Simpson Bronco. It was like the Bronco O.J. Simpson was escaping in. It looked like that. It was an old box. But the tire blows and it jerks me off the road. I hit a telephone pole. The cables land in the Skeeter. I was in my old Skeeter Starfire that Jay Ellis sold me, his old Skeeter. And like an aircraft carrier, it caught me and brought me to a dead stop. And the telephone poles are sticking in the boat, and I come to a dead stop, and I total the Bronco, and I almost died out in the middle of halfway between Havasu and where Sam Kinison famously died out there. It's a real desolate area. So that's where I trashed the Bronco, and I had to go back to the auction. and look for another vehicle because I didn't have one. And again, I only got like 6, 7, 8 grand. And I see the legendary Astro van come through the auction. And this Astro van had a trailer hitch on it. And you know, Dave, the only thing it needs is a trailer hitch.
Yeah.
So I got it. I bought the Astro van at the auction, and I had it famously had it belonged to a handicapped person. So you didn't have to use your legs to drive it. You could just drive it with the little stick on it.
Come on.
When I swear to God, I bought it, I get in it, and there's all these things around the and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can drive it like this. I don't even need to use my feet. I mean, it was real cumbersome. But here's the problem, Dave. The guy never really stopped to go to the bathroom very often, so he would just pee while he was driving in the Astro van. So it had this horrible stench of, yeah, not good. Yeah, we had to take the seats out and pull all the carpeting out and clean it all, fabuloso or whatever. And this Astro van was perfect because it was gutted. So I bought the Astro van at auction. It had no seats in the back. I put milk cartons down, the plastic ones. I built a bed over it, and I cleaned all the pee smell out of it. I took the handicap stuff off of it, and I started driving it to the Delta and Shasta and the Colorado River. And then I decided I'm going to fish the national tour, Dave. And I'd go across the country, and this thing went for 300,000 or 400,000 miles on the Astro van, crossing the country. And I swear I bought it for $5,500 or $4,800. And I put 400,000, 500,000, 300,000, whatever. We made jokes that the Army must have built it. It never needed a motor. I don't think I replaced the transmission. I put a whole lot of tires on it, but it was this beat up, trashed, horrible looking Astro van. And do you put pictures on your show? Do you ever put pictures on?
Yeah, please. I'm going to this time. We don't normally, but this story requires, get me pictures of the Astro van, please.
The Astro van was this tore up, beat up, awful thing. Then Ron Pierce and Rick Pierce, Ron Pierce, rest in peace, they decide Bass Cat wants to sponsor me. Remember the Bass Cat, yeah. Ron Pierce? And Ron pulls me aside. He's out there, Bassmasters at Lake Havasu. And Ron comes up to me and goes, you know, we've been watching you. We want to give you a boat, but you need to get a new tow vehicle because we don't want our boat being towed behind that Astro van. And I'm like, you want me to get rid of the Astro van? And they're like, yeah, you need something better than that beat up hubcap. You remember My Hoopty? The song My Hoopty. You know, tailpipe drags because the heat keeps sticking. It's got, you know, no front wheel, left wheel keeps clicking. I mean, I had the Hoopty going on the Astro van. And so I decided to pull a fast one, Dave. I didn't have the money to buy a new tow vehicle. And Bass Cat gave me a boat. And they used to have those hurricane rims. You remember the cool hurricane rims?
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to take, Dave, I had enough money to have my friend paint the Astro van, silver on top, blue on the bottom to match my Bass Cat, put hurricane rims on it. And from the outside, it looked beautiful. It matched my Bass Cat, my silver and blue Bass Cat, and my Astro van. And Ron and Rick Pierce see me in Missouri, and he walks up and he sees the Astro van. He looks inside. He goes, "You didn't get a new tow vehicle. You put lipstick on this pig." And I'm like, "Yep, lipstick on a pig." But it lasted me another 250,000 miles after that, Dave. That was like, and to your point, everybody that's watching this is laughing right now that knows me from the day, because Dave, it was a thing of lore, man. The Astro van, it was at every major event in this country for many, 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 many years.
Yeah, I heard many good times happened in the Astro van.
You know, we all had a good time, and it was a party bus. I would take the milk cartons out and all the tackle. We'd put bean bags back there, no seatbelts, but we'd all go to the club and there'd be 2 seats in front and bean bags in the back, you know? So yeah, it was quite the experience having the cheapest tow vehicle on tour for the longest period of time. But it all started with the legendary Astro van. And it's a story I've never, ever told. So most of the guys that know about the Astro van don't know about the guy that peed in it, the fact it used to be a handicap Astro van. For the first year, I thought it was cool. I could stretch my legs out this way and I could drive like this. Oh, I gotta stop. Oh, okay, I gotta accelerate. So I'm turning and I'm stopping and I'm accelerating and I got my legs up and imagine that as your tow vehicle.
Gosh. So
true story.
Let me visualize these trips in the bean bags. Who did like? I mean, obviously, you rolled with the Persians sometimes, but when you were with tournament anglers, who would be in said beanbags?
Art Berry, Brett Height, Aaron Martins with Leslie Martins, John Murray, of course, Skeet Reese. You can just go on and on. Mark Risk, Mike Reynolds. Oh my gosh, I could just keep thinking. Mike Augusto. He's been messaging me on Facebook, and he wanted me to tell the story of the Astrovan. And then Mike O'Shea. I got a lot of Mikes going. You remember Mike O'Shea?
Yeah,
Mike Augusto. Robert Lee. Robert Lee was in the Astrovan a lot. The King of the Delta. Yeah. I mean, we were like West Side, Ish Monroe. Oh my gosh. So the Astrovan was a party van and a fishing van, and everybody loved it. It had a fold out bed in the back. All my tackle was under in the milk crates. Well, yeah, it's like I took 2 pieces of wood and I put a hinge on them and a foam over it. And I would sleep in that thing and I would go camping all around the country. I didn't have any money. So I would just camp in the Astrovan. Rick Clun remembers the Astrovan very well because I was always parked near Rick Clun and everybody else. The Chapmans were there. Obviously, Aaron and them were there. Randy Howell and everybody. We were all in the campgrounds together. And it was kind of like it was a family affair back then at the campgrounds. It was neat. And I was just the lone dude in the Astrovan with the long hair. I'm going to find a picture for you, dude. I got to find you some Astrovan pictures. When does this thing air tomorrow? What time does your show air tomorrow?
It airs at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So like this time tomorrow. You don't have a lot of time. You need to dig deep quickly.
I got to dig deep. I got to find those pictures for you.
If not, I make them and they'll just totally be fake.
There is a picture of the bass cap with the more beautiful one. I would never take a picture with it until I tricked it out. But once I tricked it out, it was the lore of the tour. And people asked me what happened. I ended up selling the Boulder City house. It was in the backyard of the Boulder City house. And when I left, Murray and I had the house in Boulder City at Lake Mead. And when I left that house, I left it in the backyard. I should have taken it with me. I kick myself now for that. That van was so good to me. I feel bad for abandoning it in the backyard of a house that I sold. I really do.
It might still be there.
My last license plate was California. It was BASSZEN because I was kind of Bass Zen. And I had the California Bass Zen. And then I had that little Zen sticker between the word Bass and Zen. That was the license plate. Swear to God. I went to California. I signed up for Bass Zen. I knew Rick Clun would love that. And so did Gary Klein at the time. And I was into Angler's Quest. I was all into the cool Bass Zen concept. So I actually got California to give me Bass Zen with the Zen logo in the middle. Watch, I had a stick on there. It was a little sticker, that little Zen sticker. True story. Bass Zen. Dude, it's a great story. Oh my God, I got chills talking about it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you give me these opportunities to tell these stories. Dude, it's so great.
Yeah. The only thing that would make this better is if you were like, and here's the deal. Now we're selling it on Byron's bunker. And once you're in soaked Astro van.
I turn the camera right here. I'm in my studio. I point right out to my driveway and I go, and it can be yours.
I just going to say, you said you paid like $5,500. I think $5,500 is a pretty good investment for a vehicle that's urine soaked. Like, were you not intimidated when you opened the door to?
It may have been less than 5,500 because I'm thinking 5,500 nowadays. It could have been way less than that. I wish I remembered how much it was. So I'm probably blowing the story, but it was that it had low miles. And it had a tow hitch, which was key. It had a tow hitch, but the smell of the urine is what repulsed everybody at the wholesale auction because you could smell the urine in it. And I'm like, well, I could fix that. And I thought this driving thing, the handicap thing, was kind of a cool feature. And I finally took that off and threw it out after a year or two. But the urine, I didn't realize how bad it was till I started trying to shampoo the carpets, and it came up worse. And the guy had literally peed, like he was driving, the handicap guy, poor guy. But he was driving around and he was just letting it flow. He was just letting it flow. I mean, there may have been a bag there. There may have been a bag that spilled. I don't know what happened. But nobody, by the time I got done with it, nobody got in the van and could smell urine. I had to do a thorough rip the seats out cleaning. I asked Steve Oliver, he's going to be watching this. I go, Steve, do you remember helping me pull the seat out and clean the urine? I don't remember that. And I'm like, yeah, it was a bad day when we decided to. Because once it gets wet, Dave, is when it really starts to.
Comes back to life. I don't know why, but I'm envisioning your Persian buddies. Don't worry, bro. We can get it. We can clean it.
You know what? I may have got it for $2,500 now that I think about it, because I'm $5,500. It's a really lot. That's a lot of money to spend for a 1985 urine soaked Astro van. And now I'm thinking I got to go find that bill of sale, but that's probably long gone too, just like the Astro van is.
I've run a Yamaha outboard for over 30 years. It has got me home safe each and every time. If you enjoy this podcast, remember, Yamaha supports it and they care enough about you to make this ad read very short. Now back to the show.
Yeah.
But it was a great memory. And, it was after I probably should have been gun shy after I almost killed myself in that Bronco, because that was all that saved me was the telephone poles falling down and catching the boat, which was the craziest thing. And you ever remember a guy named Fred Borders?
Yeah.
He fished the West, Fred Borders. They were following me home, him and his wife from, we were in Parker. And he said, literally thought I was dead because he saw me at 75 miles an hour just hook it in a 2-lane highway and go out into the desert. He said, it's like you just decided to cut across the other lane of traffic and hitting a telephone pole, Dave. And literally those poles coming down and catching the boat, entangling in the boat, brought the whole rig from a one of these things. But that's what would have happened to me in the Bronco. And they got those soft tops. I would have been, my guardian angels were watching out for me that day with the Bronco before the Astrovan. So I've had my fair of, I didn't have parents that were paying my way. My mom was a school teacher. My parents were divorced. And so I had to beg, borrow, and steal just to get a boat, I had to buy used boats and used tow vehicles. Not like these kids nowadays rolling in $150,000 rigs. You can't afford it now.
Yeah, no. But that's an incredible story. The incredible Astro van. So I look forward to seeing some pictures. What are we selling?
I will get you pictures.
What are we selling in Byron's bunker this month?
Well, I actually did some auctions because I knew we were doing the show, and I'm like, I'm anybody that's looking. Here's the weirdest thing, Dave. People are writing me now because I'm doing this on like Instagram and TikTok and social media, Facebook and all that. I'm saying, hey, Byron's bunker. Every spring I come back and I got to sell all this stuff. Well, I didn't know this thanks to a guy named Joseph. I can't remember his last name, but he said, hey, I go on Byron's bunker and I see comic books. And he's finding comic books. I'm not selling any comic books, but I guess in the algorithm of eBay, there's somebody out there with Byron's bunker that's selling a comic book or two. So you got to Google Byron's bunker on Google, eBay Byron's bunker to find it. And it's kind of harder to find for some reason, which drives me nuts because I opened a store and everything. And I've sold a ton of stuff, but I'm just trying to get rid of all my tackle. And so this time I'm doing I'm doing a bunch of these old, this has been hot right now. And I just found out that like the Yamamotos, the old school Yamamotos, the green packet, they're not making these anymore. Now they're making them somewhere else. And so all the old school guys are losing their minds now for this. And then I think you can't remember this company, Wave Worms.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
Dude, these things are long discontinued. And the Berkeley jig, this is the J. Ellis Berkeley jig.
Nice.
Dude, I got so much Berkeley stuff. I got Yamamoto stuff, the Konami stuff. And so what I'm doing, Dave, is I'm just putting everything on there free shipping. So if I say $7 free shipping, I basically get it. If somebody gets it on an early auction item, they get it for $1 or $2. Or if the auction actually goes up, which is what I hope it does, and somebody really starts putting in some bids, then it gets to like, $10, $15, $20 or whatever. But I'm putting reels on there. I got some of Denny Brower's reels. And so Denny gave me a box of reels to sell. So you'll see some Daiwa reels. You'll see some Bass Pro Shop reels. I got some, I got so much stuff, man. Live Target. You told me you still got a lot of Live Target.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you could get that stuff to me, dude, because that stuff is selling. If you want to get rid of tackle, I would love to go through your garage. I really would. And I most of my stuff is discontinued, but I got a lot of current stuff too. And really, I'm just going to be putting, 25 to 50 auctions, maybe 100 auctions up a week, because right now my daughter's in school. We don't start live streaming until we're going to try live streaming tomorrow. You turned me on to live streaming, but I'm going to try doing some live streaming on the lake. But Byron's bunker has been kind of the way to pay the bills. And it's been a good way to get rid of a ton of tackle. I'll never use all this stuff anymore. I got bags and bags and bags of soft plastics and Berkeley jigs and hard baits. I got so many hard baits I'll never throw again. And then people are writing in now and asking for stuff. So that's cool too. If they follow me on eBay and they're saying, hey, do you have any Lucky Craft, 2.5s, or do you have this? And a lot of times I do. So I got stuff that people are asking for, and it's really cool to know. And what I love, Dave, is people love they can't find it anymore, and I have it. I'll never use it. So instead of just putting it at a garage sale or giving it to a Goodwill store, throwing it in a dumpster, people across the country are saying, dude, I can't believe you still have those. Can I get the rest of them that you have? And after I sell one or two, they're like, I'll just buy the rest. Once they get them in the mail and they show up, they're like, how many more packages of that do you have? Gulp, old Gulp stuff and old Berkeley stuff. And like I said, Wave Worms and you name it. It's just a ton of other sponsorship stuff.
Well, we'll put a link to Byron's bunker, and
What
we'll
about the
also
Astro
put a
van?
link to. I mean, I'd like to find it. I'd like to find it. If you have a Astro, what town did you leave it in?
But if you have an Astro van in Boulder City, Nevada, because that's where we live, that was the Lake Murray Byron Velvick, money house, and that pinball machine right there, that Fishtails pinball machine was at that house with the Astro van. Aaron Martins used to play. Aaron had the high score on that machine, like you wouldn't believe. Like he would sit there for hours, and Amart. There were so many high scores on that pinball machine that belonged to Aaron because he did not want to get beat. And if one of us beat one of his high scores, you typical Aaron, he'd come back that night from the fishing and he'd be like, dude, who broke my score? And he would just sit there and grind away on that thing all night long. So the Astrovan is in Boulder City, Nevada. Hopefully somebody will find the Bass Zen license plate. But yeah.
Gosh, could you imagine? Oh yeah, that's been in my backyard. We use it for somebody's turned it into a giant smoker.
I would buy it back in a heartbeat right now. I would bring it to Texas in a heartbeat. If anybody in Boulder City knows where there's an Astrovan, it's silver and blue with hurricane rims, matching my old Bass Cat.
Awesome.
But yeah, dude. Yeah. Hey, are you live streaming still? Because I'm learning about this live. I'm going to try live streaming on the lake tomorrow. How does that work out? How's that going?
Yeah, goes good. Yeah. Yeah. It allows people to get involved, and it's great. It's great. So they can, where can they see that with you? On your YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, and I think we're going to stream it on almost all the channels, but we've been practicing with it. We set up Starlink in the boat, and nice. I figure it'd be cool to have interactive live streaming where you can talk to the people, and then you can field questions and all that. So I know I saw you at the Classic doing that. And I was kind of jealous because I'm like, Dave, how's it working out? I've been watching you so much at all the weigh-ins and everything, and it's in the morning walking the dock, and you even had me on at the Classic.
I did.
Mercer, I wanted to pick your brain about it. Mercer's in the morning live streaming. Yeah. Is it hit or miss, or is it a good signal? How's it work?
Oh, no, it depends where you are, obviously. But I mean, for the most part, it works pretty good. And, we were in some locations that are a little choppy, but to be honest, knock on wood, and I'm scared to say that because this week it's Santee, it'll suck or something. But it's been pretty rock solid. We do it about an hour before takeoff every takeoff day, and we just walking and talking before the Elite Series is really awake. We'll walk up to guys, and I mean, you were awake. The Classic's different. Everybody's awake, but half the time, guys are just showing up to takeoff. So you get a kind of a different vibe from them. It's fun, but it's the story of my life, dude. Like, it's the one free hour that I probably have in my entire week. And I'm like, I've got an idea. I'll do this morning thing. And then at the end of the week, I'm like, why am I so tired? Well, because you're streaming somewhere for a copious amount of hours, but it's good. It's great.
I love watching you. I mean, I'm getting a kick because I'm sitting here at home. I take my kid to school, and funny part about the Classic was the reason I was there is Camber Mercury asked if she wanted to be out on the boat. The boat out there. So I dropped her off in the morning so she could go out on the boat. I had to wait for her, of course, and she's out there doing the cheerleader thing and having in one of the boats promoting the Mercury boat, promoting the Classic and all that. So I'm walking the dock and I run into you, and finally I got to be a guest on something I've been watching for the whole year. And I'm like, this is cool that you're just going around talking to everybody, and threw me on for a second. And it was a lot of fun. And it kind of got me thinking, I've heard a lot about this live streaming stuff, and maybe that's something I could do while my kid's in school. Because during the weekday, when everybody's at the office, Wednesday, Thursday during the week, that's a great time to do it.
I love this. You're like a little baby chick, just learning how to live. It's like you disappeared, and now all of a sudden you're just coming out and Realizing there's this thing called social media.
Dude, I lived under a rock, Dave. I mean, I did not have, I have not been on Facebook in 10 years. I didn't even know what Instagram, TikTok, and all this other stuff was, and YouTube channels. I mean, you used to talk to me about it, and you scared me because I was so intimidated by all the stuff you had going on. And when we did this show, guys, greatest show. I can't watch it on my thing. You're one that got away being YouTube. I've told that story a million times about you were at the forefront of YouTube when there was like 700 people YouTubing. Like that story is, that's going to be one of my shorts. I'm going to air it again, but dude, I loved you on the one that got away, knowing that you went after the golden moose. Remember that?
Yeah, won a bunch of stupid trophies. Great. Good thing I did that.
Yeah. Instead of being the beast of fishing. Dave Mercer's,
not even on the top shelf. Look at that. We're sitting back there.
And if it was YouTube, you'd be in your Hawaii studio right now, or Turks and Caicos. Dave Mercer broadcasting from Turks and Caicos.
I got some bitchin' moose though.
Yeah, I don't have a moose. I never scored a moose. We both lived in outdoor programming.
Nothing. There was absolutely nothing.
I'll sell it on eBay. Byron's bunker, Dave Mercer's moose.
Deal.
Hey, I sold the vest. I had a guy buy the vest, the Sons of Fish's vest.
Oh, nice. Nice.
At the Classic, somebody reached out to me, and somebody else reached out to me. And they said, "Hey, I was starting up Byron's bunker." And they said, "Before you list it, we want to buy that vest." And so that Sons of Fish, that I'm never going to have it in the studio here, but I got rid of the Garmin Sons of Fish's vest, and you never know, those golden moose might be worth a fortune to somebody if they're signed by Dave Mercer. Signed by Dave Mercer. It's a golden goose.
Yeah, I'm sure. People would love that.
So dude, thank you so much.
To do this like once a month, or are you going to just be an absentee friend and disappear again?
I would love to do it once a month. If you'll have me on once a month, because honest to God, the humpers, I got to tell you guys, every single person has a winning bid and just says in the message section, "Hey, loved you on Mercer," whatever. I don't care. If somebody messages me and identifies themselves as one of the humpers, then I throw some extra stuff in. I was doing it last year, and I got so many cool letters because I had that little group of your audience. That audience of yours is like, "Man, we loved your stories. Tell more stories." That Astrovan story or whatever, that you guys mentioned. I don't care. You don't have to say anything at all. You just have to identify yourself and I got tons of extra stuff. So I just go, "Oh, look, he bought a bag of wave worms. Let's shove all that in there and send him everything." So I'd like to do it once a month because you really helped out. And I want to thank you because, man, Byron's Bunker really skyrockets when we do your show.
Awesome. Well, check out Byron's Bunker. We'll have a link. Check out his YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. It costs nothing.
Please subscribe.
Gift that keeps on giving. The one and only Byron Velvick.
How many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
It's not about numbers. No.
305 million.
Almost 500,000.
I got 120.
Yeah, but you were once the freaking Bachelor.
Oh, yeah, that. That's like your golden moose. That Rose is sitting down there. The girl I met, the Bachelor is sitting down below this chair over here. Everything. It's worth nothing.
It was a good time. I went to a club with you in Vegas, and that Bachelor shine had not dulled. Trust me, I was very impressed. It was, we'll tell that story next time.
Dude, do I need to send the picture of all of us at the penthouse? I got that picture. It was on our show. I mean, it was Zona, Van Dam, you, me, and Aaron, and you sent me the picture.
Yeah.
I think you gave me the picture. Dude, you got to put it up. That was Bachelor heyday right there. That was right in the thick of that Bachelor stuff.
It was good times.
They were good times.
I was Bachelor adjacent, and I thought it was a wonderful time. Byron's Bunker. Thank you, dude.
Dude, love to be on again. Thank you guys. Support Byron's Bunker and check me out live streaming on, just put it all up there, but I'm going to try to build something here. You never know where social media might go, and who knows, maybe I can retire off of it someday like you do.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, I told you this was going to be an eclectic show. I would think it lived up to its billing. I hope you enjoyed it. To people full of passion that love the sport of fishing. And as Byron and I talked about, Mercer in the morning. Make sure you check that out this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, about an hour before scheduled takeoff time of the Bassmaster Elite Series. I'll be walking and talking and having conversations with the Elite Series pros before they go do battle on Santee Cooper Lakes. You can watch that right here on YouTube, also on Facebook. It is live streamed. We get it up on Instagram, kind of available on all your social media haunts. Make sure you turn the ringy dingy thing on so you get notifications when we're live here on Facebook. And I hope to see a bunch of you at Santee. It's going to be a fun tournament. If you're in the area, make sure to swing by to weigh in. Holler at me if you see me, whether it's at takeoff, whether it's throughout the day, whether it's during the weigh-in. Just holler at me. Let me know you're a humper, because I love to hear from some humpers. And I'd love to go over and say hi to you, shake your hand, and thank you for putting up with this particular brand of tomfoolery. Another thing I do at those events that you may or may not know is I get to host live casts along with Kyle Jesse, and a myriad of different pros come in, and we basically have a watch along of the TV show. And it's an opportunity for those of you that don't have FS1 or Fox when we're on there to see a broadcast of what's happening in the tournament. And it's usually a very fun time. I think this Saturday we are on for 8 hours, so that's going to be a bit of a mind melt. But here's the real fun one. We had so much fun on Tuesday Night Live, and I know a lot of humpers were in the chat there. On Sundays, I'm told that we're going to start streaming live cast on YouTube as well as Bassmaster.com, where it always is. So get in there in that YouTube chat, humpers. Let's represent. I had a lot of fun with you guys on Tuesday Night Live, and I want to kind of try have that vibe continue on our Sunday coverage that's on YouTube, Bassmaster's channel. So hope to see a bunch of humpers in the chat there. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do all those things that help stroke the algorithm for this show. Tell your friends, tell your family to check this show out, because we want to keep the grow going, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. I will put links down to Jiren Clinch's YouTube. I will also put a link down to Byron Velvick's and to his eBay. Make sure to support those guys. Thank them for being part of this show. But really, the main reason that this show exists is you guys, because I'll do a lot of things, but if nobody watches, I'll just stop doing them. And you guys have always watched and always supported this show, and I cannot thank you enough. Before I leave you, I want to remind you, everybody is fighting a battle. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Humpers, go out in the world, spread happiness, spread kindness. A smile can change somebody's day, and it will actually change yours in return. Have a great week. Enjoy being. And as always, Bob Cobb, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?